So back at VIR Voice in the Dominican Republic.
Boom.
We have another guest. She is amazing. Her name is Ashley. Hi, Ash.
Hello.
What's going on?
Cheers.
Cheers.
We are in the DR. Man.
We are in the DR. And can we talk about this beer for a quick second?
Yeah.
It's like a
President
commercial.
Give me your thoughts on this beer. Give me a rating of 1 to 10.
I mean, it's a pretty good, like, Mexican, Spanish beer. Not sure exactly.
Are you sure
but-
it's Mexican or Spanish?
Well, that's why I was saying, like,
I mean, we are in the
close, 'cause
Dominican.
So if you could compare
Dominican.
it to a
It is a good, like, other country beer. I mean, I think it's
Good
better
foreign
than,
beer?
It's definitely better than, like, Modelo and Corona for sure.
That's
Oh.
a statement.
Or what's that?
I'm going to go ahead
Yeah.
and massively disagree with
That's
you
a
on that one.
statement.
Because my experience of this beer is that it's a
Very
bunk
mediocre.
Coors
Really?
Banquet.
I mean, I can, dude, yeah, totally. But
That's like
but
it
those
tastes
are what
like
those
a
other ones are too. Like, I don't, kind of all just taste the same after a while. But yeah, I don't think it's bad. It's definitely very drinkable. Very drinkable.
It is drinkable,
Yes.
but I'm not crushing these like I would a Modelo or
I could definitely crush
or a
these.
Tecate Light.
No,
Oh,
They're a
Tecate,
little-
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. The
they got like
Tecate.
a
Yeah.
taste to
It's the
them.
Aluminum can
taste.
taste, right?
That's what it is.
Not with it.
That's what it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
All right, so Ash, we wanted you to be here because we wanted to ask you just some questions. First of all, how did you end up in the Dominican Republic?
I worked my ass off to be able to be on this trip.
You did work your ass off.
I did every day, all day.
Quickly.
So, Jax and I always like to ask this question of reps, especially after they've been a while. They've made a bunch of money and they show up on a trip like this. Like, how did you end up at VIR?
So, I mean, the whole thing's kind of a fluke because I was just supposed to come to Vegas, get my surgery, and then just bone back out. That never happened because of coronavirus. Stopped a lot of things. Also stopped, like procedures being done. So I had a nice little nest egg when I moved here. Then obviously after being there for like 6 to 8 months, like living a normal day, I was like, oh, maybe I should try to find some place to work. Obviously, if I want to be here for a minute. So
Maybe I should try to find a
Yeah,
job.
maybe I
or
should
something.
do something. All right. We're getting there.
well, because I was going for school for digital marketing, so I was like,
Right.
oh, I'll find a job doing this. And everybody's like, no, dude, you have to have experience. And I was like, well, I'm a fast learner. They're like, no, we don't do that in this field. It's like, all right. So I know an installer for Sunrun, and they're like, hey, you should be a salesman. They make a bunch of money. So I was like, might not be a bad idea, kind of like a stretch for my personality, but I was like,
Yeah, something
you
to
know,
do. Sounds cool.
exactly.
Okay.
So I went around to like a few other companies. So like I went to like Vivint, Sunrun, and then I didn't go to Elevation, just those two. And I don't know, it was just very different. Like, I don't know, vibe was totally different. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and like bash another company, but going from them to you guys, like, I was like, all right, I'll see what this company has to offer. Just
Okay.
seemed, like legit, like, I don't know, very honest and upfront, like not trying to hide anything or just like send us on our way, like not knowing nothing.
Okay.
Like you actually like put an effort into it, I guess, and that's kind of like a big thing
In your
for
training,
me.
you're talking about.
Yeah, well, even just like when you first come there, like, I don't know. Like I could tell right away that you guys weren't with the bullshit. It's just like, all right.
Okay. So, what was your first day like?
I was my first day, like my first training day.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I'm wondering what they're gonna say, because they might be about like just a bunch of bullshit. As we just like talking about everything, I was like, okay, like this makes a lot of sense. Then, just kind of going like further into like the bill and, just how everything works. I was just like waiting. I'm like, what's the catch? How are we going to fuck these people over? Because I was like, for real, I was like, dude, this sounds really good. But, like everybody else like has, one stipulation on it. So I was just always like waiting for that. It never
What do you
came.
mean one stipulation?
So just like, doing like the leasing agreements and shit like that.
Oh, the leases.
Got
Yeah.
it.
There's a catch somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of those companies like finance them too, so it's like, is that really the best idea to do that?
Right.
But
And so the catch never came?
the catch never came. I was waiting for it the whole time, like, oh, it's a Ponzi scheme.
It's a Ponzi scheme.
Oh my god.
Dude, like, so I am not a salesperson. The only other sales job that I ever like tried to get was like for Kirby vacuums, and that shit was so fucking, I don't know, it was just very weird because you have to like push this product on somebody, and it's like, is it really helping them in the end? Like, what is it gonna do for them? They're
Charging
gonna
them
spend-
$3,000 for a
Seriously,
vacuum?
like
Go get a
go into
Dyson.
somebody's house and tell them to buy this super
For $3,000,
$3,000
you could just put in brand new carpet.
Honestly. Yeah. Buy a Dyson. Like,
Seriously, and they're
no-
like, oh, they last, and it's like, dude, they don't last like 25 years, like without having like any problems and shit, like. And that shit, it's like, it's so old after that. Nobody's
That's
gonna be able
true.
to fix that shit. Like, what the fuck? Dude, like,
So just a
after
bad
5
product.
years, it's gonna be, you know, like, on to the next model. Like, they don't give a shit about that.
So when did you start?
July?
You started in July.
No, you start in like August. I think you started closing in July or maybe June.
August is after June.
Yeah, are you drunk?
What?
This is after July.
Oh, sorry. June, July, August. I'm tripping.
Okay, so you started
I
in
think
July.
I started in July, and then I started closing in August.
August.
Okay.
I'm
So
pretty
your
sure.
training class was in June or July?
July.
Okay. Who did your training?
Buzz and Jax.
Okay. They did your training class, or did I do your training class?
No, they did it.
You did the training class. Okay. And what was your thoughts during that training class? I think I remember that training class.
I mean, it was definitely interesting.
Yeah, that was the
I mean,
first
it was
one I
definitely
did.
like a totally new experience for me. Obviously,
me too.
never-
I had never given a training.
Yeah, it was your first one, huh?
You seem
That's
like
awesome.
so cool and collected the whole time. You're like, this is what we're doing. It's not really hard. Just fucking do it. And I was like, okay. Seems pretty legit. And I mean, it's a reasonable thing to do. So,
Okay.
I mean, to ask of somebody, it's like,
And then you came out and you were on fire, right?
yeah. I mean, I got like 3 RFPs on my first day.
Mhm.
Fuck it. We sat with 2 of them. I think the one did a no-show, but
Yeah, we closed the one. First one, she sat me with, what, a 10
First
kilowatt?
day and a
Yeah.
close and 10
yeah,
kills.
that fucking big
10.7 or
one.
10.8.
Yeah.
I slapped it out front with
I
our masks
remember
on.
that. I remember that deal, dude. I totally remember that deal.
Yeah, that was a good
That's awesome. That was awesome. Okay, so what about your first experience going and closing on your own? After you got your training, after you got your RFPs, your opens, you went through the process, and now you were closing on your own.
So the first time I closed by myself, I'll never forget it because the lady, she was all about it, but she failed credit. So
Oh.
Jax was always like, dude, just help them, like do whatever you have to do to help them.
The
you
credit
know, like,
gods.
Yeah. So we called them, and she just had, you know, like she had an issue with her last house, but she's like, I have the proof that it wasn't an issue. We gotta find it. So I was like, all right, like I'll help you find it. So she's like, we're like digging through her fucking, digging through her garage, like in all her boxes and shit. I don't know. It was just, it's funny. She's like, I don't know. It was just really funny how.
And you got her, right? She signed?
No, we couldn't fucking find it. And then I was like, I'm gonna call her the next day. I don't know. It was just, if I was more like, I look back at it now, I'm just like, there's a lot of different ways that I could handle it.
So do you
That
know what to
would be
ask
way
for?
more like progressive, you know, like fuck. Because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Like I was scared. I mean, like I
Yep.
knew what to do, and obviously I always had support. But when you're first time doing it,
Yeah,
like,
it's your first one, and then they get declined, and you're trying to,
like figure that shit
submit the
out.
documents to get
Right.
it approved.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Mine was 4 hours, first one. Brutal.
Your first close on your own was 4 hours.
4 to 5 hours, yeah. Old Filipino lady. She was
Wow.
74.
Did you get dinner?
Yeah, I ate well, no, not dinner. It was at 10 a.m. close, so I got lunch.
You got lunch.
Yeah,
Okay.
I ate some lumpia with her.
There you go. There
And
you
then,
go.
Yeah, read every word of that thing.
So, if I could ask another question. So, what do you like most about working at VIR?
The environment.
What do you mean?
So I've worked a fair amount of jobs in my day, and like always the thing that, you know, and like most of the jobs I worked, like I like doing the work, you know, but it got to the point like anytime I'd leave a job, it was because Like there was like always an issue in management, or you know, like just some whatever bullshit's going on. Nobody wants to help you do nothing. Like I don't know, like it's not a family, it's like a fuck you vibe, and like that's a hostile work environment, especially for me. So I'm like, anything that's not that would be great. So I was like, all right, this seems like a pretty awesome crew. Try it out, and you know, like love it. I was really scared too. I was like, no, I'll just stay. Like obviously you guys are good people, and you know, like getting older, like that's what you want to surround yourself in. I mean, especially, you know, successful people who are obviously doing good shit. You know, more
Definitely.
people should want to do that.
So what about the culture attracts you to it?
Just like the family vibe, like you know, like helpful, caring. Like I don't know, like you guys helped me. You know, like when the Subaru broke down, you helped me get the Mini. So
The
Mini.
coupe.
yeah.
The coupe.
The coupe.
Yeah.
No other company would ever do that. They'd be like, oh, if they had a company car, they're like, you can drive this one, but you gotta pay for all this shit. I mean, I've never had that happen, but I've never needed that. But still, it's like, yeah.
So you killed it in 2020. You came in late. You still were able to put in the numbers to make the retreat, which is awesome. What do you see for yourself in 2021?
I'm just gonna slam it next year.
Can't hear you.
I'm gonna slam it next year.
What's that mean?
I am
specifically.
aiming to make at least $300,000
Okay.
next year. At least, like minimum. Ideally, I'm probably looking at 45. But
What,
at least
accounts?
300. No, dollars.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Need a lot of accounts.
All right.
But I also feel like at this point, like I'm a lot more progressed and, you know.
In the business.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
you know
it's
what you're
gonna be a
doing
lot-
now.
Yeah,
You've done
I
it.
know what I'm doing now. It's going to be a lot easier for me. I'm going to get a full summer, which I'm really excited about.
Yes.
So I know I'll just
Yep.
be able to fucking kill that shit. Oh, yeah, I'm really excited.
Okay. I hear that you are buying some property in Oregon. Is that right?
Yes, that is the main goal.
Okay.
Let's
I'll
talk
have
about
my
Have you
own
already
house.
made an offer? Have you found the property?
No, well, so I want to get like timberland, which is great, but I also want to get like zone 4, you know, like building, like housing building.
Okay.
'Cause there's some land where you can only do certain things on. So the trick is to find that, but also like big enough. So a lot, you know, that's in a reasonable price. I mean, they have bigger
Got it.
ones. Closer to the shore, obviously, it's a little bit more. But I'm just looking for a good piece of land that I'd be happy with. Plus, I want to
Okay.
go out there before I make an offer on it. And I haven't
Right.
went out there yet.
And how old are you?
28.
28.
28.
Okay.
Still got a few more on me, so.
You got some questions
Set
for
myself
Ashley
up
Jax?
now.
Ooh, questions. Yeah. So, how was your first day on the doors? Like, who'd you train with? You train with me or with Buzz?
I trained with you.
Okay. So our first day out on the doors, we obviously you
we had
shadowed
a
me.
close. I think we had like 2 closes. I
Oh,
don't think
so
we
you didn't even get to hit the door.
Yeah. Like, I don't think we knocked till the 3rd day, and you're like, you got this. Like,
Did
"Oh,
we
got
close 'em?
this." Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, the first 2 were closes. The first one you already closed, you had to go back for whatever. Then the second one was a full close.
Okay, so your first day on the doors actually with me, what was that like?
Yeah.
Because I mean, the training class, you know,
Oh,
everything
it was
sounds
definitely
good.
interesting. Well, because you're like a lot more like dominant, you know, on the doors than I am. Like, you know, like that's just
Yeah, my
We like
personality.
to say assertive.
Assertive,
Oh,
not
okay.
dominant.
I thought dominant would be the better thing to say. My bad. Not in a bad way. It's just not, you know, like how I usually go about things. So I was just like, all right, like this motherfucker's got some balls on him. Okay.
Right?
But I mean, it helps. It definitely helps. But yeah, I mean, it was just kind of like weird to see somebody else with a totally different personality, like go about their approach. I don't know.
Yeah, and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, knocking doors is an interesting thing. So I don't know. It's really just. But, yeah.
I have a
that's
question for you. So, you know, this industry is dominated by men. So, how do you feel being a woman, being out there on the doors and creating what you're creating?
So every field that I've worked in, really, it's been like male dominant. So I don't know. It's like it feels really good, but I'm also like, of course, because all those guys are fucking idiots. Like, I mean, really, when it comes down to it, it's just like,
Oh my god.
I mean, honestly, and the way they go about it is just like, you know, like, I don't know. It's just so weird.
Do
like,
you
why
feel
would
you have an
even-
advantage?
I mean, I don't know. I guess, I don't know. Kind of yes and no, because some people are like, oh, she's a girl. Like, it's more safe. Like, it's safer, right? Then on the other hand, you also have like the like dads and shit who are just like, oh, she's a girl, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the only really negative
Do
discourse.
you end that real quick? Because the moment you pop open your laptop, you know your shit.
Yeah. Well, usually they don't like to say it until like midway through, and then I have to then I go back and I'm like, where did I lose you? And they're just like, well, right here. And then I explain it again. I'm like, do you understand? He's like, yeah, but you don't know how it works. And I was like, all right. Like, there's no way we're going to get around this then. Like, if you can't hear the words that I'm saying after you even agree with me, like, you know,
After you agree with
dude,
me.
we can't go anywhere
After
from
you
there.
agreed with me.
You don't know what you're hearing. Okay.
All right. So last question for me, and then Jax can finish. But if you were to give any advice to new reps wanting to come to work for VIR, what would you say to them?
Gotta stick with it. It's the biggest thing. Definitely gotta stick with it.
Yeah, it's a common thing in what we've asked a couple of the other
Yeah,
people.
and
Committed,
it's absolutely
stick it out. Yeah. Okay. So, male dominant industry. I'd say, you know, you're arguably one of our top producers for the time you started. So, what was it? Like, what clicked for you to bring you to really, I guess, the next level? You closed, 10 in a month already? In one of your, third month? Second month?
That was August, right, or September?
Was it?
It was before October, so
yeah,
it was-
September was, I think, my best.
Yeah,
best
so,
month.
like, what worked? Or did
Just
you just
like
go to
just
work?
knowing what I was gonna say, really, because that's where, you know, like, because that's where it kind of differs. Because there is a difference between, you know, like making that relationship and then just, you know, trying to sell somebody. You
Yeah,
know.
so the rapport.
I think, yeah, and it's like when you do it for so long, you know, you just kind of like get into that swing, but then you're like, no, gotta go back. But yeah, sometimes it's just like, gotta check yourself back in again.
Go back to the basics.
Back to the basics.
Yeah, I find myself sometimes, not as much anymore, but when I would come off like a vacation or something and go back to the doors, I would just be like, oh my God, like awful at what I do. And then I would, you know, take me like 3-4 days and then, you know, get back into the swing of things, doing what I know I'm good at instead of trying to, I don't know. I don't even know what I do when I come back from vacation. It just doesn't work for some reason.
So speaking about coming back from vacation,
Right?
we got to come out of the gates hot.
Hot.
Yeah.
Like, are you ready? Do you feel like you're mentally prepared and ready to be on the grind? Because it's Wednesday. We're talking about a week from now.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
going to be
working.
knee deep in the grind.
So
Are
I
you
know
ready?
that I've been like drinking this whole week, but yeah, I'm super fucking ready. I've been like telling people, like, you realize we only have like so many days till we go back to work, right? Like, gotta start like
countdown is
realizing
on.
this so you can fucking get back into it, because that is a big thing about it, you know? Coming back from vacation, it's
Yep.
sometimes hard to get back in it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I want to sleep for 2 days.
Yeah, got to wake up and get back to
We
it.
got one
That's
day
what
of
the
sleep.
plane
That's
ride's
it.
for, though, right?
Yeah, the plane ride. And it's a long one, too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so what about your crew? You got a crew you're going to be managing, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do.
How
have a
many
crew.
on your team?
There are 4 officially,
Okay.
and then there's a few other people, but I just need to talk. So, looking at 5, but definitely 3.
Do you feel like you've got them prepared?
I don't know. I don't know, because it's, I don't know. So it's kind of like hard for me to really like explain this job and like people get it. So I try to explain it and like prepare them, but then they're just kind of like, oh, well, because a lot of these people are installers coming over here.
Okay.
So they're like, I already know how to do it because I'm installing. And I'm just like, dude, it's a little different.
Yeah.
You know,
lot
like
different, right?
You're not
It's
just
a whole different ballgame.
you're not just talking about installing somebody's panels, like you're doing a bunch of other shit, you know. And if that comes up, like, yeah, of course you can talk
Well,
about it.
and here's the
but-
thing, too. It's about just getting them in the class. You get them in the training
Yeah.
class,
They'll see it.
and they're going to see it.
Yeah. Oh,
So.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's great.
Definitely. Yeah.
Anything else, Mr. Jax?
That's it for me. Yeah, I was gonna ask about the team next, so I'm glad. I mean, 4, or you said 3 for sure.
3 for sure.
3 for sure.
Yeah.
Going for 5. Yeah.
Well, we got a couple others we're going to add on your team, too.
Yeah, I have a
So-
group of people coming in that I've
Yeah.
been working on. It's gonna be fun.
So what would you say to someone that's like just working a 9 to 5? Like why should they come and work at VIR?
Ooh, do you want me to? Do you want Jackson? You ask that
Oh,
question.
I would. All right. Ready? So Ashley, obviously being in a commission-based industry, what would you say to somebody, working a traditional 9 to 5, getting the hourly paycheck to, I don't know, share the experience with them? Because I feel like that's what most people run into in recruiting.
So, like, I get that it's scary because it, kind of was for me too. But it's, something that you have to do. I mean, you don't have to do it, I guess. But if you want to live like a good life, not just work your fucking life away, like,
Gotta
nobody
take
wants
some
to do
risks.
that.
So what made you make the decision? So you have this, okay, I'm not getting paid unless I sell something, right? And people have commission anxiety. So did you go through that commission anxiety?
I did. I definitely did go through it. Feel like it took a little bit longer to get those like deals through because like the AAA and shit. But it's like,
Sure.
I don't know
What would you say to them?
about that situation. You
Yeah,
just
what
gotta
would you
hang in there, dude. Like seriously, like I said, I know it may be scary, but it's definitely a payoff. It's not like you're gonna get what you give into it. You're gonna get exactly back the amount of effort that you put into it.
Yeah. I
So
can
if you
speak
go
into
in
that
it
a lot.
fucking like it's like if you go into it full force, then you're gonna get a lot of outcome back, like positive outcome, because you're actually going into it. But that's the kind of like the trick with a lot of people, because a lot of people don't really like get that. They just expect to do like minimum amount of effort and expect like all this shit for doing nothing.
Yep.
And it's like you have to
Yep.
remember that's not really how fucking the world works. Like gotta fucking do your shit.
Right.
Like
Ashley, I love talking to you. I really do.
Tell how it is,
I'm going to start. I'm just going to start. We're going to have Ashley
Ashley
quotes.
quotes.
Ashley quotes of the day. We're going to put up in training class.
There you go.
Oh, my
You got to fucking do your shit to get your shit.
So true, though. I mean, come on. That's like everybody can understand that. Like, there is no like misunderstanding to what I just said. Like,
There's
everybody
no
knows what the fuck I'm
misunderstanding. We
saying.
got you.
Like,
Gotta do your shit to get your shit.
everybody.
Well, I want to say thanks for coming and visiting us. I know you're on vacation. I know we're in the Dominican. There's a lot of places you'd rather
We're
be
on
than
vacation together.
sitting on our patio,
homie.
right? Cheers.
Right here, drinking beers with my homies. No place
Right.
I'd rather be, right?
Right?
Fucking, but in that hot tub. I'd rather be in that hot tub.
Yeah, we gotta get that thing going tonight or something because it's
That
not.
thing's
It has not
clean
been
it.
used. Is it dirty?
A little bit.
All right, I'll rinse it out.
I'll come over and use it dirty. I don't really care. Sit there in my bathing suit. Fuck it. Warm jet fucking. Be dope.
Well, enjoy the rest of your trip. We're going scuba diving tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Are you excited about that?
I'm very excited about that. Yes.
Yeah, different level than snorkeling. Getting
Oh,
under
I'm
the water,
sure.
it's a
I
whole
know.
different ball game.
Well, so the Thailand trip before it got canceled, like
That-
supposed to go
that breaks
fucking
my
scuba
heart to
diving
hear
out
that.
there.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we're going back on the
Second.
No, we're going back on the boat. What boat is that? The
Catamaran.
catamaran.
The
We're doing that
booze-
again on
the
Friday.
Booze
We're going
cruise
back
is
out
what
again?
they called it.
The
They called it
booze
the
cruise.
booze cruise.
Wasn't that fun?
Yeah, dude. That
was
a lot
brutal.
of fun. Loved
That was
it.
great.
Yeah, that was dope.
We'll post some pictures. You guys could see that. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
That was dope.
All right.
Dope.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
stopping
for
by,
having
honey.
me on your podcast.
Of course,
I
of
appreciate
You're
it.
awesome. We love it. We love you.
I love you guys too.
Yeah.
All right.
I like the family that you've created here.
Hell yeah. Thanks for joining us.